You're watching Griffon Sports Insider, presented by Spine and Sport Physical Therapy. Now, here are your hosts, Brett Esely and Ryan Menley.
Hello and welcome, Ryan, Brett, GSI. Let's start with basketball. Big week for the Griffons. At Lincoln Wednesday, back home against rival Northwest on Saturday.
We're household names right now, aren't we? By now, aren't we?
Not.
No, maybe not.
No.
Deep into the second half of the MIAA tilt. Means rematches from here on in.
And hopefully a better result than last Saturday. The shorthanded Griffon men could not overcome a very good Missouri Southern squad.
9-14 Griffon men back in the fieldhouse Saturday to take on 16-5 Missouri Southern. Lions head coach Robert Korn on his retirement tour, honored before the game by Tom Smith and Brett Weiberg. The Griffons lost by 34 in Joplin a month ago, down 9 in the second half though, and here they come. Ryan Devers doing work, the and one, then just putting on a clinic, putting on moves. Devers had a team high 16 points on 6 of 17 shooting. Griff's down 2 with 15 to play, but later Southern gets hot from the outside. 4 straight possessions, resulting in 4 straight three-pointers. Part of a 27-9 Southern run. This gives the Lions a 72-52 lead. Southern giving the undersized Griffons fits on the inside as well. Charlie Marquardt having to earn everything. The freshman had 11 points, 9 rebounds. Worked hard, but it's not enough. The Griffons dropped their 4th straight, 78-60 the final. Coach Weiberg now with 9 active players on the roster, but making 0 excuses.
You know, I don't know how much we're outmanned, but I will say that we don't have any margin for error, and that is some of that's personnel based.
I mean, they're bigger than us, but we don't want to ever say we're outmanned because we feel like we can compete with anybody, with whoever we have. But I mean, it is tough.
I mean, we play hard. We're gonna keep fighting. We're gonna come back to practice and get ready for the next game.
And joining us now, head coach Brett Weiberg. Brett, I know it's been kind of a tough transition where you start a season with 4 returning players or 4 seniors, and now you're down to just one of those seniors, with Cedric Clinkscales being ineligible for the second semester and losing DZ Markalovich and now Darius Fulton for a second time. It's a different team, and you guys are battling. You're doing what you're trying to do, but it's tough.
Yeah, it is. You know, I think for a variety of reasons. Just from the team standpoint, obviously you're dealing with issues and some drama from a team standpoint. And then from a technical standpoint,
you have one true big man. That's Charlie.
Yeah, we have one true big man.
You're playing a 3 guy.
And really not even
5.
close. Yeah, not even close after that. I mean, those kids have never defended in the post more than a possession at a time. You know, and so, and certainly, you know, we don't play them in the post offensively. It's on the defensive end where they're struggling the most, and where we're struggling the most as a team is on the defensive end. So.
Brett, win, lose, or draw, this is a grind. Long season. Hard to believe we've been doing this practice-wise since the middle of October. We're down to 4 games. And Wednesday night at Lincoln, you got Northwest that comes to town on Saturday. But that game Wednesday night at Lincoln is huge. In a sense, after you're done, if you can win it, you might have a 2-game lead on that final spot with 3 to go after that. Just talk about how important that one is.
It's a big game in terms of our playoff hopes. You know, that's where that game comes into being is if we want to make the playoffs, then by far our best chance lies in going to Lincoln and beating Lincoln. But again, you know, I know, you know, this may not be what everybody wants to hear, but right now we're just the process. You know, can we do what we need to do tomorrow? Did we do what we need to do this morning? Did we lift like we needed to lift in the weight room in order to give ourselves the best chance to go to Lincoln and win? You know, we're going to adjust our travel a little bit and leave earlier, give ourselves a lot more time, and really just trying to figure out anything that we can do to give ourselves maybe a little bit better chance to win on the road, because it won't be easy.
Northwest in first place in the MIAA. They beat you 92-64 in Maryville a couple weeks ago. That is a very, very good team. What do you expect Saturday when they come here?
A lot of the same. I mean, it'll be a lot of the point guard. You know, I mean, Cooper's a good player, and then obviously they've got the matchup. You know, they win all the matchup battles in the interior. You know, our biggest thing is Northwest is very good, but, you know, me personally walk out of that very, very embarrassed, just in terms of score, a little bit in terms of how we played. And hopefully when the time comes after Lincoln, we start kind of hammering that home with our kids and seeing if we can't get our point across on how we've got to play to walk out of there with some self-respect.
I got a lot of calls last week. We did not have a tantalizing trio or Weiberg's wit. In fact, I was crushed as well.
Right.
My email inbox was littered
I can only imagine.
fan mail, and so we won't let that happen again. And to make up for what we missed, this is the holiday edition of Weiberg's Wit. I don't know if you know, we also celebrated President's Day this week as well. So Brett, very simply along those lines, who's your favorite U.S. president? I'm curious.
Well, I'm about 3/4 of the way with the Lincoln book.
Okay. And not the Blue Tigers, President Lincoln.
That's right. And that's a very interesting book, and it's a pretty good book. So let's go with President Lincoln.
Somebody told me during the course of the year he looked like JFK. I see that.
Yeah.
I do see that.
Kennedy
absolutely.
That's right.
I absolutely do see that. Okay, let's flip back to the holiday we missed last week because the questions would have been good, and our dessert was red velvet cake last week.
For Valentine's Day,
we had
the whole
one
show
we missed
devoted
last
to
week. We
Valentine's
did.
Day. Made half the people that want to watch.
And I didn't get to ask my questions, so that's all I remembered. I'm going to embarrass you here. You and Christy's first date, do you remember what it was, where you went?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
We went to a movie and saw one of those romantic movies with...
what was that, Sleepless in Seattle in those days? Are we back
it
that
was
far?
close. Michelle Pfeiffer and Robert Redford.
Up close and personal.
Yeah, so we saw
the news reporter movie.
And then we went to a local Mexican restaurant there in Huntsville, Texas.
Huntsville, Texas. Lovely. And Brett, along those lines, most women love these. Are you a flowers guy? Do you send flowers?
I have sent flowers before. It's been a little bit.
Christy, forgive us if he didn't send them this year. I didn't want to bring that up.
But I had
way to open that scab.
Sorry.
That's awesome. Well, Brett, good luck this week.
Yes.
We'll see you at Lincoln on Wednesday and Northwest on Saturday. That's Brett Weiberg. And coming up, we'll talk for women's action with Rob Edmisson. And Brett Weiberg's predecessor gets ready to begin his new career. We'll check in with new tennis coach Tom Smith later on.
As you get to the net, as we start to volley, one of the things you need to learn is to throw the elbow first and then volley.
Clausen will hold no wind to speak of. The kick is up. It is long enough, and it is good! Greg Zerline from 57 yards away.
Greg Zerline came to me before football season last year. He just had hip surgery. He tore his labrum, which is a piece of cartilage around the hip socket. And in that surgery, they also found out he had a torn quad.
I was still having problems with my leg, and I wasn't kicking the ball as far, and I'd always have pain in my leg after kicking.
No one really found the cause of the injury. They fixed the symptom. But when he came to me, we found out that his left leg, his plant leg, was really unstable. The cause of his right hip quad tear was the fact that he wasn't balanced. So we analyzed his technique and his form, and then we went to work.
Working with Fred, he helped me correct that with some of his exercises, and going to his clinic really helped me, my leg to be fresh after kicking, and after working with him a few times, I could tell the pain would start to go away.
We have that training, that background. We have the facilities with the pool, with our technology to really train people how to perform at the highest levels.
I've done stuff that I've never done at any other physical therapy place, and I've been to a lot of physical therapists, so it helped me, and so I think it'd be a good place to go in the future, and I'll continue to work with him whenever I'm back in town.
1 for 58, high snap. Zerline's first NFL kick is
Train like the pros. He's been a great person to work with, and exemplifies what we're trying to do here.
But last year we had football players temporarily performing as cheerleaders. This year the tradition continues, sort of. Members of the Griffon football team did a dance routine at halftime of the women's basketball game this past weekend. Darian Bass right there showing off some moves. It's pretty good. The guys spent weeks of practice with the Mystics dance team to perfect their performance. Hey, everybody was impressed. Well, everybody except for maybe head football coach Jerry Partridge. How do you think Coach Partridge feels about this?
I mean, the way he's looking over there, he's trying to turn his head a little bit, but I know he was watching us real close.
Deep down, he really liked that?
To be honest, I believe he was happy because they're losing our hips up. You got to have loose hips on the field now.
I thought they looked like kids that had some potential to dance well.
Does it make you proud as a football coach to see those guys out there?
I'm very proud of all our young men that show that they're well-rounded in life.
You know, one thing about Jerry Partridge, he's always politically correct.
Always. He's the most PC guy I know. Of course he is. He has more than one reason to be proud this week. Another of his former players is ready to tackle the NFL Combine. Reggie Jordan leaves for Indianapolis this week. The former Griffon tight end, one of the selected invitees to show his stuff for the NFL scouts. Reggie, known for his spectacular hands during his 4-year Missouri Western career, he'll put his skills to the test this week. The NFL Combine consists of constant, exhaustive physical and mental tests that put college prospects through the ringer to see if they are NFL material. Jordan will be the second Griffon in 2 years to go through the Combine. Chicago Bears defensive end David Bass went through it in 2012.
I'm very excited. A little bit nervous, you know. I mean, it's a dream come true, so of course I'll be nervous. Basically, I'm gonna talk to David, see if he can walk me through some of the things he went through, you know, to help me calm my nerves. So I'm basically expecting the worst, preparing for the best. How about that? Physically, I'm ready. Mentally, I still got to get there. Yes, sir.
The NFL Scouting Combine begins February 22nd in Indianapolis. Back to basketball, big week for the Griffon women as they try to keep their MIAA conference tournament hopes alive.
Yeah, to do it, they have to complete a season sweep of Lincoln Wednesday and force a season split of Northwest on Saturday. The Griffons found themselves swept at the hands of Missouri Southern this past weekend. Let's take a look back. Saturday, the Griffon women donning the pink camo for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and trying to force a season split with Missouri Southern. The Griffons lost in Joplin in January and come out strong on this February day. Alexis Gray asserting herself early on both sides of the floor. The center scored 11 of her 14 points in the first half, also had 8 boards, 4 blocks. Sharnice Lewis also on fire in the first half, draining threes from both sides of the floor. She had 21 points on 7 of 8 shooting. Griffons used 54% first half shooting to take a 40-36 lead to the break. But as hot as they were in the first half, they were equally as cold in the second half. They shot just 20% from the floor in the half and could not buy a bucket. Southern, meanwhile, knocking down big shot. Shawnee Phillips, that's a 4-point play. Lions take a 55-50 lead with 6 minutes to play. They continue to pull away. Dominique Mosley down low and bang your head. Western cold from the field, cold from the free throw line. And the Griffons fall 68-61. The final. Southern improves to 16-9 overall. Western 9-13, 4-11 in MIAA play.
Cut your legs out from underneath you. And not only is it bad that we shoot 20% from the field, we missed 9 free throws the second half.
And we just lost it. We missed the easy shots. Free throws are easy. You know, we missed a lot of them. I just feel it's not a lack of effort because the effort was there.
You know, I don't fault our effort at all. Our effort's there, our want-to's there. We're just not finishing. We're just not making smart plays at smart times.
Joining us now, head coach Rob Edmisson. Your consistency is your inconsistency is your consistency, and that is your identity.
Yeah.
Right?
Said very well. I can't spell any of those words.
I couldn't re-say that if I had to.
Say it 3 times fast. But it is. It's a frustrating thing to, you know, be able to do certain things in certain moments of the game, and then it disappears on you, and you don't know why it left, and then it comes back, and you don't know why it came back, and so it's a frustrating thing because inconsistency in anything you do in life or basketball, especially we're talking basketball here, you've got to have things you can depend on. And you got to be able to go into games and know, okay, we can depend on this, this, and this. We can depend on this person, this person, this person. And for us, that changed basically not only by games, it changes by halves, and sometimes changes by media timeouts.
Quenisha Lockett, 5 fouls in 6 minutes. Yeah. That's unreal. Never before happened.
Never happened.
Have you ever seen that?
Ever. And I've coached, I'm approaching probably 850 games now. Never had a player foul out in 6 minutes with 5 fouls.
You know, Rob, along those lines, and I know you and Coach Smith and Coach Goldwire watch film religiously, we seem to set more illegal screens than any team I've watched. What do you make of that? What do you see on tape? How many of those aren't? I don't want you to say anything you don't want to say, but it just seems like they're abundant.
Well, I think it's like anything that happens in games. At times there's a call that becomes the flavor of the night. Sure. Whether it be traveling, not so much double dribble, but traveling, or maybe 3-second violations. You know, you can go.
Yeah, those come in bunches. You see,
they do.
Yeah, they do.
You can go 10 games, never have a 3-second call, and all of a sudden there's 7 of them in one night. But we've got to do a better job of teaching our kids how to avoid that situation. You know, we're going to work on that pretty hard the next couple of days in practice. about trying to minimize illegal screens, because those are turnovers. And you can't do that in games that are coming down to 2 or 3 possession games to win a game.
And you look at the standings right now, you're tied for the final spot in the conference tournament right now, and you have 2 winnable games. Of course, you did beat Lincoln, so you'll try for the sweep, and you lost to Northwest, and maybe your most disappointing loss of the year a couple weeks ago. So this is a huge week, no matter how you slice it. Doesn't matter the record.
It doesn't, and it's all about getting in, because I think we've proven we can play with anybody in the league at the top end, so I'm not fearful about going on the road and trying to upset somebody. I think we're capable of doing that. You can't do it if you're not in the tournament. And so that being said, we find out this week just how bad we want to extend play. And I've told our seniors, forever sets in here pretty quick, and forever's a long time. And so hopefully they'll find a way to put themselves in a position to continue to get another game that's not on the schedule.
Speaking of the flav, there was a lot of people that didn't get their flav last week. They missed Weiberg's whip. They missed I Must Ask You a Question. So we're going to get it back in this week. And your favorite president in the spirit of President's Day that took place this past Monday?
You know,
you have no idea who the president is?
You know, President of the United States? Oh, okay.
University
Dr.
presidents.
Vartabedian.
Yeah, Dr.
Vartabedian is by far.
Yes.
Period. Hands down, Dr. Vartabedian is the best president.
I just said president. I didn't say that'd be U.S. presidents. That's a great answer. That's a great answer.
And I'm betting if he was actually the real president of the United States, we'd be better off.
All right, that's something about the political affiliation. That's okay. That's all right.
Hey, next question. Let's come back to the holiday we did miss last week, Valentine's Day. You and your lovely wife Gina. Could you remember your first date?
You know, our first date. I'll be honest with you. I probably
go to the malt shop. Or?
You don't remember, do you? You don't remember. You're stalling. You have no clue.
Yeah, and I'm in a lot of trouble as we speak right now.
You have no clue. Oh boy. Sometimes you listen to what they say and what they don't say, and that usually tells all. Gina,
yeah, but it was special. It was a special moment.
Well, it obviously was. Well, let's talk about something else that was pretty special.
Wow.
Boy,
the special moments I've had so much recently kind of overshadowed.
I really hope your wife watches the show, but we're going to force her to watch.
She watches every time.
She does. I really hope you remember this.
Love you.
Where'd you go on your honeymoon?
Disneyland.
Disneyland. You remembered that?
Yeah, yes. Disney. We went to Epcot Center.
Okay, so you went to Florida, Disney World. Okay.
I got married on December 27th, 2 days after Christmas.
What year?
Oh boy.
We went to Disney and to Epcot.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it was 27 years ago. I've already established that fact.
How many years ago that is?
It was 20. Count back 27. Yeah. You can do that. If you can't handle the math, I can't help you. It was 27 years ago was that date that we got married on December 27th and went to Florida.
It was 1987, and the Royals were only 2 years removed from their World Championship at that point.
That's right.
I know that math.
I was down in what's it called down there in Kansas City? The
Westport.
Westport.
You guys,
I was in Westport after the game.
This is the worst segment ever of you just stuttering and stammering through it, but that's okay. That was good.
The
we need to win.
Beauty of it. Let's get a couple of them this week. That would be great.
That's Rob Edmisson. Always entertaining. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
I am your aquatic therapist. My job is to control the current. Bulging disc, no pressure. If you really want to get better faster, you have to work in water. I'm Ian Hessemeyer, and this is Spine and Sport.
Click clack, click clack, click clack, bodies dropping. They were drunk when they missed you, but that was luck. They coming through tomorrow, shorty, that's what's up. Cock back, they dang dang, hit you with the bang bang. Stand over your body and hit you with the same thing. Dig a hole in the meadow. Dig a hole in the cocoa ground. Dig a hole in the middle. I'm gonna put you down.
And welcome back. Griffon baseball scheduled for a home opener this weekend, possibly, hopefully. We'll see.
So
they'll open MIAA play, possibly, hopefully. We'll see. Beginning this Friday, the start of a 4-game series with Northeastern State.
Looks like snow melting weather Do you have a snow shovel? Bring your shovel to the field. We could use it, might need it. I think the weather will be good enough. The Griffons are 2-3 on the young season. That's after going 1-2 over the weekend in Emporia, Kansas. So far this season, the pitching has struggled, with the Griffons losing a pair of games Saturday and Sunday on walk-offs to Southwest Minnesota State and Emporia State. Coach Buzz Verduzco still tinkering.
We did walk too many people. I think we made some timely errors that ended up extending some innings, and so we have to clean that part of it up. I think once we start feeling better about our defensive play, we're a good enough offensive team, I think, to stay in a lot of games. And we knew from the very beginning that the games that we play, most games that we're going to play, are all going to be close. And every game this year has been the same way.
Well, first pitch for the home opener on Friday set for 2 p.m. Hope to see you out. Admission is free. Griffons softball, they're off to a 7-3 start this season.
Yeah, that's after going 5-1 in the 8-state Classic last weekend. It is a lot of states. They went 5-1 in the 8-state Classic in Bentonville, Arkansas. Jackie Bishop tossed her second career no-hitter during that stretch. Griffons are back in action up north for 4 more games this coming weekend in the St. Cloud State Dome Tournament in Minnesota.
You know, I think consistency is still going to remain key for us. I think, you know, we got ourselves into some trouble with Janie Smith on the mound this past weekend. Just not that she was throwing a bad game, but she'd have a bad inning. And, you know, we need to find a way to stop that bad inning from producing so many runs. But once we get that figured out, and then stay with our bats continuing to build and getting more consistent, and honestly having smarter at-bats, then I think that will be a step forward for us.
GSI, we'll be right back.
Now David Bass is going to sling him to the ground, his second sack in this football game.
Spine and sport treatment with Fred, his methods are extremely different from anybody I've ever been with, because he takes your injury and breaks it down to a T. I came here right after I had my bone spur surgery for my left foot. He broke my body down, so he kind of went in and took it step by step from my hips down to my knees, to my calves, to my ankles, and fixed everything. I recommend Spine and Sport because of Fred. He has a passion for his athletes and getting people back to where they need to be.
All right, we're here with Train Like the Pros with a pro. This is Michael Schultz from the St. Louis Cardinal organization, and we're here to talk about a plyometric power drill for the hips. You know, a baseball player needs to develop power in their batting stance as they rotate. That rotation, their back leg has to be able to load, to stretch in order to deliver that rotational power. Same thing with stealing a base. So Michael's going to demonstrate a hip plyometric exercise for us here on this slide board. As he goes into this slide board, it's kind of like training like an Olympic speed skater, but as he hits this block, his hip goes into a quick plyometric stretch. He gets down low, pushes off. So he's getting down low and then a push off. That quick change of direction is what we call loading the hip, exploding the hip. That's the same mechanics of hip rotation that has to happen when he pushes off to load in his back stance of his hitting stroke. It's the same mechanics that has to happen when he pushes off to steal a base. Let Michael stop here. This is a great workout, good cardio workout, trying to stay low. Plyometric hip flexor that gets that stretch to the hip capsule to allow that body to create more power in rotation. Using sports science to train better, to perform better, that's Training Like the Pros at Spine and Sport.
Hey, make sure you join us on Saturday for Military Appreciation Day as the Griffons take on the rival Bearcats. 130 women, 330 men. A lot of neat things going on to honor our troops. If you're a veteran or active member of the military, bring your ID. We'll admit you free. And we'll also have 1,000 rally towels, compliments United Consumer Credit Union. And in support of the 50th anniversary of Chick-fil-A, 2 students are going to shoot for chicken sandwiches for a year. So a lot going on Saturday. Hope to have a great crowd out as the Griffons take on the Bearcats. Welcome back. You know, Missouri Sports Hall of Famer Tom Smith spent 47 years roaming the basketball sidelines before retiring in 2013. Now he's beginning his second life as Missouri Western's first-year tennis coach.
You know what? Sometimes old habits die hard, and then sometimes old habits don't die at all.
You know, it's going really well. New coach is great, but he just does things really different than what we're used to.
All right, hold up. This is all wrong.
It's a little bit unorthodox.
You know what? Use both hands. All right, this is a lot better. My whole life has been in basketball. I think it's been 47 years, and You know, this is kind of a new challenge for me. And Denise, that's the worst looking layup I've ever seen.
I mean, Coach Smith, he has a lot of knowledge. I mean, I think he knows tennis.
As you get to the net, as we start to volley, one of the things you need to learn is to throw the elbow first and then volley. Mara, get your hands on the ball. Alyssa, cut your hair.
It'd be nice to do some more tennis stuff every once in a while.
Kayla, that's the first basket we've made, thank goodness.
It's really nice outside, but we haven't been to the outdoor tennis court because we keep coming into the basketball court.
You gotta jump, gotta get up, get up, keep the ball off the rim.
We haven't really been working on serving or forehands or backhands, but we have been working on our dunking.
Do it. That sucked. My gosh, I could have won more games if she'd have played. I think the girls work really, really hard. I think if we can improve their jump shot, sharpen their elbows a little bit, I think we're ready to play. How many times do I have to tell you, we have to learn to play with the bigger ball before we can play with the smaller ball?
I don't get it. Does this have something to do with you missing basketball?
I don't get it. Am I missing basketball? No.
Can we just go to the tennis court now?
No. Get back in line until we make 100 more baskets, and then we go to the courts.
Griffon Tennis opens its season this Friday in Red Oak, Iowa against Maryville University.
Good to be cross-trained.
Yeah, it is.
Good to cross-train.
Hi, Max.
Speaking of
it's
cross-train.
nice to not see you again.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm kidding. Max.
Boy, now he wanted to host a show.
Oh, you want to be the tennis coach?
Now he wants to coach tennis.
Oh, well, guess what? No. Coach Smith actually does know what he's doing. He coached tennis for 3 seasons at Valparaiso University in the 1960s.
He won a conference championship there. He was also the conference coach of the year during that time. Those are all things that you haven't done. You are the weakest link.
You lose.
Sorry.
You can go away.
Gonna have to add that into the budget too, I guess.
And he just ran into a light. I don't know why. I didn't expect that to happen.
Stunning. Unbelievable.
It's GSI for this week.
Well, wear gold. Go Griffs.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're clear, guys. Good show.